Now Jonas's group had taken a new place in the auditorium, trading with the new 11s, so that they sat in the very front, immediately before the stage. They were arranged by their original numbers, the numbers they had been given a birth. The numbers were rarely used after the naming, but each child knew his number. Of course, sometimes parents used them in irritation at a child's misbehavior, indicating that mischief made one worthy of a name. Jonas always chuckled when he heard a parent exasper- exasper- exasperated call sharply to a winning toddler. That's enough. 23. Jonas was 19. He had been the 19th new child born his year. It had meant that at his naming he had already been standing at bright-eyed, soon to walk and talk. It had given him a slight advantage the first year or two, a little more maturity than many of his group mates, who had been born in the later months of that year. But it evened out, as it always did, by 3. After 3, the children progressed at much the same level, though by then first number one could always tell who was a few months older than others in his group. Technically, Jonas's full number was 1119. Since they were other 19s, of course, in each age group. And today, now that the new 11s had been advanced this morning, there are two 1119s. At the midday break, he had exchanged smiles with a new one, a shy female named Harriet. But the duplication was only for these few hours. Very soon he would not be an 11, but a 12. And age would no longer matter. He would be an adult, like his parents, though a new one and untrained still. Asher was 4, and sat now in the row ahead of Jonas. He would receive his assignments fourth. Fiona, 18, was on his left. On his other side sat 20, a male named Pierre, who, whom Jonas didn't like much. Pierre was very serious, not much fun, and a warrior, and tattletale too. Have you checked the rules, Jonas? Pierre was always whispering solemnly. I'm not sure that's within the rules. Usually it was some foolish thing that no one cared about. Up on his tunic, it was a day with a breeze. Taking a brief try on a friend's bicycle just to experience the different feel of it. The initial speech at the ceremony of 12 was made by a chief elder, the leader of the community who was elected every 10 years. The speech was much the same each year, recollection of the time of childhood and the period of the preparation. preparation, the coming responsibilities of adult life, the profound importance of excitement, the seriousness of training to come. Then the chap elder moved ahead in her speech. This is the time, she began, looking directly at them. When we acknowledge difference, you 11s have spent all your years till now learning to fit in, to standardize, standardize your behavior, to curb any impulse that might set you apart from the group. But today we honor your difference. They have determined your future. She began to describe this year's group and that variety of personalities, though she singled no one but by name. She mentioned that there was one who had singular skills caretaking, another who loved new children, one with unusual scientific aptitude, and a fourth for whom physically labor was an obvious pleasure. John chipped in. He said, trying to recognize each reference as one of his groupmates. The caretaking skills were no doubt those of Fiona on his left. He remembered noticing the tenderness with which she had bathed the old. Probably the one with scientific aptitude was Benjamin. The male who had dev- devised new important equipment for the rehabilitation center. He heard nothing that he recognized as himself. Jonas. Finally, the cha- chap elder paid tribute to the hard work of her committee, which had formed the observations so meticulously all year. The committee of elders stood and was acknowledged by applause. Jonas noticed Asher won silently, covering his mouth politely with his hand. Then at last the chap elder called number one to the stage, and the segments began. Each announcement was lengthy, accompanied accompanied by a speech direct at the new 12. Jonas tried to pay attention as one, smiling happily received her assignment as fish hatchery attendant, along with words of praise for her childhood spent during many volunteer hours there, and her obvious interest in the important process of providing nourishment for the community. Number one, her name was Madeline, returned finally, amidst applause, to her seat, wearing the new badge that designated her fish hatchery attendant. Jonas was certainly glad that that assignment was taken. He wouldn't have wanted, but he gave Madeline a smile of congratulation. When too, a female named Inga received her assignment as first mother. Jonas remembered that his mother had coal in a jar without honor, but he thought that the committee had chosen well. Inga was a nice girl, too, though somewhat lazy, and her body was strong. She would enjoy the 3 years of being pampered that would follow her brief training. She would give birth easily and well, and the task of labor that would follow would use her strength, keep her, keep her healthy, and impose self-discipline. Ingo smiled when she resumed, resumed her seat. Best mother was an important job. It, if lacking in prestige, Jonas noticed that Asher looked nervous. He kept turning his head and glancing back at Jonas until the group leader had to give him a silent chastisement, a motion to sit still and face forward. 3. Isaac was given assignment as instructor of sixes, which obviously pleased him and was well deserved. Now there was 3 assignments gone, none of them ones that Jonas would have but now liked. Not that he could have been a best mother anyway, he realized with amusement. He tried to sort through the list in his mind, the possible assignments that remained, but there were so many he gave it up. And, and anyway, now it was Asher's turn. He paid strict attention as his friends went to the stage and stood self-consciously beside the chap elder.